Shabbat Shalom, Kal Halal Yahal Bashim Elishah, Bahashim Kodash, double honors to the elder apostles and other bishops of GMS, including the elders that came before them that taught us its truth. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the brothers that are pushing the word and truth and in sincerity, the hopeful elect tabernacle of David. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to all the Aqua listening and learning. I'm the brother Yahshua. I'm back with the WW3 Daily Update. Shabbat Shalom and salutations to everyone tuning in. All right, so a real quick little update since in the media, if you will, they're trying to downplay the fact that World War III is jumping off in our face. So let's take a look at what we do have. We'll start right here in Joel 3:9. Proclaim ye this among the Gentiles, prepare war, wake up the mighty men. And here's the point. Let all the men of war draw near. Let them come up. Let's read it up here in the NIV. Proclaim this among the nations, prepare for war, rouse the warriors, let all the fighting men draw near and attack. Say to the nations far and wide, get ready for war, call out your best warriors, let all your fighting men advance for the attack. Okay, so with that, where'd Skeletor go? Skeletor? No. Where's Skeletor? I don't know where he went. Slocky, bear with me. Dashboard. That's not it. I don't know what that is. Here it is, right here. All right, as you can see, Skeletor is going to give you a quick little rundown on what the hell is going on. One day ago, full spectrum survival. Emergency update. Nuke planes in the air. Russian warning to the U.S. Now watch what he's going to say. He's going to say that these people, under the guise of war games or military drills, they're getting in position. They're doing what? They are letting all the men of war draw near. Near to what? Near the battlefield, right? Let all the men of war advance and attack. Let them come up. Have them come up. Let them come up. Let all the men of war approach. All right? Take it away, Skeletor.
Well, doesn't it just look like things are going to crap really quickly? NATO says that the Russians have placed what they are considering to be a clear nuclear warning to the United States of America and to NATO general. This has happened with the advancement of nuclear bombers engaging in a war drill in direct opposition to NATO's Ukrainian summit. According to the Russian reports, the use of nuclear bombers will involve more than 10 Tu-160 and Tu-95 bombers, as well as their direct supporting aircraft. It was disclosed today ahead of a NATO summit in neighboring Lithuania that the Russian President Vladimir Putin has sent up 2 hypersonic or supersonic White Swan nuclear bomber planes as part of what they consider to be an extended war game mission, one that has the exact route of its nuclear bombers remaining secret. And the report saying that the planes are regularly deployed to the Norwegian Sea north of Britain and to the Barents Sea. It's being said in the open source intelligence community that Russian war games are acting as a clear warning to NATO. And its summit next week will act as an open engagement that reaffirms America's support for the Ukrainian war against Russia and brings the country nearer to a full-scale membership of the defensive group of nations. Russian reports state that the flight and tactical exercise
Overpriced filler and marketing hype.
Salaki, we'll watch a little more. It's just more of the same until the real shooting starts.
Exercises of aviation regiments in the Engels and Armor long-range aviation formats were launched, and that despite performing combat tasks that are directly related to special military operations, as in the war in Ukraine, all of the planned combat activities are being carried out in their fullest extent. Reports warn that Russia is making sure that the world takes note that the Tu-160 is the most important part of the Russian nuclear triad. The modernization of combat vehicles, the resumption of production of these strategic bombers is a priority for Russia. That's according to Putin's closest individual, Sergei Chemezov, the general director of one of the state corporations. Now, similarly, showing that the United States is united with other countries in a long-duration war with China and Russia together, the 2023 Pacific Vanguard naval exercises are now reported to be underway. These are taking place in the waters near Guam. Vessels from South Korea are joining the Quad members of the USA, Japan, and Australia, and according to an official release from the U.S. Indo-Pacific Command, the Vanguard Situational Readiness Drill is there to deliver Allied support to navies of the region in what's being called an improved interoperability and practice of maritime operations, anti-submarine warfare operations, and air warfare operations like live-fire missile events, as well as the advanced maneuvering scenarios of these allied countries with a free and open Indo-Pacific in mind. We have to be ready for this to overflow into a live war, literally at any minute.
Say that again. We have to be ready for what? These are just drills. These are just war games. This isn't what?
As well as the advanced maneuvering scenarios of these allied countries with a free and open Indo-Pacific in mind.
This part.
We have to be ready for this to overflow into a live war, literally at any minute. One military strategist on an international report says that there is an understanding that this year's exercise, which began a couple of days ago, July 1st, is going to continue through July 12th, but it could turn into a live war literally any moment. Although South Korea is not a member of the so-called Quad or Group of Nations, which also includes India, it is considered a quadrilateral security member, a Dialogue Plus member there. It has bilateral security pacts with the USA, and it has important regional partnerships with South Korea participating in the Vanguard exercise. Cooperative exercises and engagements with our allied partners, says one reported quote. This is from a commanding officer of the USS Howard. Cooperative engagements with our allies during exercises like Pacific Vanguard, they are critical to ensuring that we can stay a strong and effective interoperable force. A free and open Indo-Pacific, says the commander, is made possible by the relationships we build together during these exercises. Now you have to remember that is a commanding officer of the USS Howard speaking for the United States of America, and you'll keep hearing this in the next couple of weeks. Free and open Indo-Pacific, or Indo-Pacific Alliance. This is going to become important because you're going to start to differentiate between NATO and the Indo-Pacific Alliance. That's going to start to include countries like the Philippines. You're going to see South Korea. You're going to see all these other nations in a cooperative fight and battle against China.
Let's take stock real quick. What is he describing? He's not talking about Russia against Ukraine. He's talking about World War III. Everybody fighting against everybody. All right? All right? He's speaking on World War III as a whole, not the battle in Eastern Europe, if you will. Okay? A skirmish compared to all nations fighting against each other at the same time. Let's listen to a little more.
Now, the moment that China attempts to take Taiwan, you're going to see all of the agreements that have been made behind closed doors between Australia, the United States, Philippines, South Korea, Japan. All of these countries are going to act lightning quick on Taiwan to come to Taiwan's aid and to defend against China. Everything that you've seen happen between NATO and Ukraine over Russia is going to be amplified to means that we can't even understand, because these are going to be our direct militaries supporting Taiwan against China. Now, if we had allowed this to drag on for a year or 2 years, 3 years, we would have been able to build a sort of backup system to these semiconductors that Taiwan holds almost the world-renowned rights to. But instead, China knows this, and they know that if they take Taiwan right now, then China will be the leading superpower of our world. When you combine with that it just came out yesterday that they finally said out in the open that the new BRICS currency was going to be gold backed. This was a game changer. This is a life-changing moment, because that means that everything that happens from this point forward will be directly related to precious metals, things that are used in semiconductors, and the materials, the raw materials that go into making things like pharmaceuticals.
Quickly, Muammar Gaddafi, right, was invaded and killed, right, I believe by NATO. Why? Because he was moving to an independently gold-backed monetary system. Okay. So anybody, and Saddam Hussein, the same thing. He was getting his money right with with gold coins with his face on it, right? And they're like this. No, you're not. So now what? What is Babylon the Great, right, supposed to do when somebody speaks of bringing in a gold-backed monetary system? What are they? They're supposed to attack, are they not? That's their MO. All right, let's listen to a little more of it.
Who holds all of that? China, India. It's not the USA, it's not Canada, it's not much of Europe. Sure, there's bits and pieces here and there, but the things that are keeping our older generations alive, and the things that are keeping the younger sick ones alive, that they have allowed to be poisoned with nanoparticulates and the microplastics that they put into our foods, they just allow you a certain amount of microplastics in your food. And it's not just here, look all over the world. If you watch any walkthroughs in the Philippines or in India, they're literally putting steaming hot soup inside of a plastic bag, just like a clear shopping bag. They tie it up and you take it home. Well, not only are you getting your potatoes and maybe your vegetables, you're also getting a whole bunch of microplastics inside of there that your body has no way of knowing how to filter.
That's warfare with the food. You cut off the food supply. You poison it, right? You give them smallpox blankets. These are all tactics, if you will. So we'll end it right there. The point is that, hey, let's get Joel 2, 3 and 2. So I can bear with me real quick, because here's the point. Let's read it in the King James. I will also gather all nations and bring them down into the valley of Yehoshaphat. NLT, I will gather the armies of the world into the valley of Yehoshaphat. There will I judge them for harming my people, my special possession, for scattering my people among the nations, and for dividing up my land. Now, this is the Most High, Yahweh, I. The Most High is gathering who? The armies of the world. What does that translate into? What we all know is coming. Who's doing it and who's not going to fail? None of these shall fail. Revelation 11 and 14. The second woe has passed. Behold, the third woe is coming shortly. World War II, World War III. Yeah, but they're not going to go. What? Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. Isaiah 34 and 16. Seek ye out of the book of the Lord and read. No one of these shall fail. What does that mean, no one of these? These prophecies. No one of these shall fail. None shall want her mate. You can't mate the Bible with any other book. For my mouth it had commanded, and his spirit it hath gathered them. All right, so it's the Most High's will, right? As a prophecy, what? That this will come to pass. Second woe has passed. That came to pass. World War II did it not. Behold, the third woe, World War III, is coming shortly. All right? And we'll end it right there. See you tomorrow with more news and information about World War III. That is inevitable because none of these shall fail. So with that, we hope that the elect ratified you, brothers and sisters. Until tomorrow, Shabbat Shalom.